Jai Gurudev, today we explore how timeless spiritual wisdom from His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji and the practices from Art of Living and Vedic Dharma Sansthan can illuminate modern and historical dilemmas reflected through the drama lens of rain. Let's begin. How can spiritual practices help one balance the temptations of power with the weight of responsibility? Jai Gurudev, yes, His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji says, true power lies in being responsible, not controlling. Through Sudarshan Kriya and Padma Sadhana, one develops a calm, intuitive mind that helps shoulder leadership without ego. These techniques reduce stress, making space for clarity. Mary's struggles in rain mirror the conflict of power versus conscience. Sudarshan Kriya cleanses emotional heaviness, helping leaders feel more connected to service than self interest, essential in both royalty and modern leadership. In Vedic tradition, Agni-Karyam performed daily reminds a ruler of their duty to serve dharma, not self. The Upanayam Sanskar itself initiates youth into the path of responsibility, guiding them with Gayatri Mantra and Sandhya Vandanam thrice a day. It's not about ruling others, but about the inner impulses first. Given the betrayals Mary faced, how can one remain steady without becoming cynical? Through Sehat Samadhi meditation, one develops a deep anchoring in the self, so external betrayals don't shatter inner peace. Gurudev teaches when the mind is calm, intuition becomes sharp. Mary's grief over broken loyalties could have been softened with daily meditation, making her less reactive and more discerning. Loyalty is nurtured when one acts from wisdom, not emotion. The Gayatri Japa and Trikal Sandhya give subtle strength. They purify the intellect and sharpen discrimination. So one senses whom to trust. Mary could have benefited from a Vedic lens, seeing people's nature beyond their words. Loyalty in dharmic context isn't blind, it's wisely chosen and aligned with cosmic order. How can individuals align love with wisdom, especially in positions of influence? Yes, Jayagurudev, His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji often says, love is your very nature, but wisdom is your guide. Practices like Shakti Kriya open the heart while grounding one's energy. It prevents emotional entanglements that cloud decision making. Mary's attachment to Francis, though sincere, often distracted her from statecraft. Had she practiced Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama, her love would have become a strength, not a source of vulnerability. Vedic wisdom differentiates moha or attachment from prem or pure love. Sanyam sadhana of level 1, a level 2, a program of deep silence teaches restraint and higher perception. With inner clarity, one chooses wisely whom to love and how deeply. Mary's heart needed the clarity of silence through Vedic sadhana. She would love without losing herself. How does the Vedic and yogic tradition support women under public pressure? Gurudev's work globally empowers women through spiritual strength. Padma Sadhana and Sudarshan Kriya rejuvenate the system, providing emotional resilience. When Mary faces a gender based scrutiny, these tools would allow her to meet criticism with dignity, not defensiveness. A strong breath supports a strong voice. In the Vedas, women like Gargi and Maitri were philosophers and guides. The Sandhya Vandanam empowers with the mental balance. Upanayam for women was once common and is being revived. Mary could have drawn strength from this sacred lineage. Gayatri Japa, traditionally led by women in many homes, brings clarity and spiritual aura that disarms critics. How can spiritual practices help maintain calm amidst political tension? Diplomacy is about listening more than speaking. Sahat Samadhi meditation and Sudarshan Kriya create that inner stillness to hear beyond words. Gurudev teaches that calmness is strength in rain. Mary's negotiation movements often go awry due to inner unrest. With regular meditation, her presence itself would have radiated trust and clarity, making diplomacy smoother. In Trikal Sandhya, one aligns with the rising noon and setting sun. This rhythm harmonizes one's energies, bringing composure. Agni Karyam, to done in the morning, prepares the one to speak and act from sacred alignment. Mary's challenges mirror those of ancient kings and queens who used Vedic rituals to stay grounded during talks and wars alike. Mary struggles with her Catholic faith in a politically Protestant world. How can one stay rooted in faith amid political conflict? Gurudev reminds us that real faith is innocent and not rigid ideology. Sudarshan Kriya and Padma Sadhana foster an inclusive universal mindset where spirituality transcends sectarianism. Mary could have used these tools to stay anchored in divine love while navigating shifting alliances. When inner peace is strong, faith is not threatened. It becomes a source of quiet courage and compassionate diplomacy. Vedic rituals like Agnikaram and Trikal Sandhya sustain one's inner dharma regardless of outer politics. Upanayam connects one to Sanatan Dharma, which embraces diversity yet roots the individual in eternal truths. Mary's spiritual grounding could have guided her to lead you as a unifier, not a victim of religious divides. After experiencing abuse and grief, Mary makes some destructive choices. How do spiritual tools help heal trauma? Trauma stories itself in the breath developed, Gurudev developed Sudarshan Kriya to release impressions from deep within the nervous system. It's helped millions recover from war, abuse, and emotional wounds. Had Mary practiced this daily, she could have responded to pain with wisdom, not vengeance or fear. Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2 as silence retreat is also deeply healing. It allows emotional patterns to dissolve gently. In Vedic tradition, Gayatri Japa is prescribed to purify the mind and nervous system. Trauma clouds the intellect. Repetition of sacred mantras, especially during Trikal Sandhya, restores clarity and calm. Agni Karam helps the soul feel safe again, like returning to a sacred womb. These tools are ancient therapies that heal the deepest scars. Mary is surrounded by courtiers, yet often alone. How can leaders handle isolation? Gurudev says loneliness is when you are disconnected from yourself. Solitude is when you are connected. Practices like Sahat Samadhi meditation transforms isolation into inner fullness. In silence, one discovers companionship with the divine. Mary's loneliness was real, but with tools like Shakti Kriya, she could have reconnected with her inner source, turning solitude into power. Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2, the advanced silence retreat, gives leaders space to recharge and realign. In Vedic culture. Rajas or kings would retreat into forests for tapas to restore their inner strength. Sandhya Vandanam and Upanayam rituals link one with the cosmic rhythms. Even if alone, a Vedic practitioner never feels abandoned, they are embraced by dharma and divinity. Mary's pursuit of revenge leads to instability. How can spiritual wisdom guide someone past this urge? Gurudev teaches revenge burns you first. Sudarshan Priya detoxifies anger at the cellular level. Sahat Samadhi meditation helps us see the bigger picture. Mary's desire for justice, though understandable, became vengeance, blinding her. A person in touch with their breath makes decisions from awareness, not impulse. These practices could have helped her transcend hurt and become an agent of healing. Vedas warn against Krodha or wrath as a poison of dharma. Gayatri Japa purifies emotional turbulence and brings viveka or discernment. Agni Karam is symbolic, burning the lower self to rise into higher nature. Mary's dharmic journey could have been guided by daily rituals, transforming her pain into wisdom and service, not self destruction. Mary often forgives deeply but struggles with letting go. What helps her truly release resentment? True forgiveness isn't mental, it's experiential. Sudarshan Kriya and Shakti Kriya unlock tapped emotions, making space for compassion. Gurudev says forgiveness is not favoring the other, it is favoring your own peace. Mary's forgiveness was noble but incomplete. These techniques would have completed the inner journey, transforming wounds into wisdom. Forgiveness is a sacred act. Sandhya Vandanam in Sandhya Vandanam, we chant to release all trespasses, ours and others. The recall Sandhya keeps our emotional world balanced. Vedic mantras remove emotional knots. Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and Gayatri Japa help one transcend personal hurt and view life from a cosmic plane where forgiveness is natural. Mary, with these tools, could have forgiven not from weakness but spiritual strength. Francis and Mary navigate love, politics, and duty in their marriage. How can couples stay united under such pressures? Gurudev teaches that true love is a commitment to uplift the other. Marriage is not about controlling but growing together. Whether when couples meditate together, practicing Sahat Samadhi meditation or Ram Dhyan or Sudarshan Kriya, they align emotionally and energetically. Francis and Mary, facing internal and external storms, could have used these practices to stay emotionally connected and rise above misunderstandings. Love matures with the spiritual depth. In Vedic tradition, Grihastha ashram or married life is a sacred dharma. Sandhya Vandanam performed together helps couples maintain cosmic alignment. Gayatri Japa harmonizes the subtle energies. Rituals like Agni Karam bring divine energies into daily life. Mary and Francis, had they integrated these sacred routines, would have had not just love but a divine support in their union. Mary learns that power brings constant danger. How do spiritual practices help bear the burden of leadership? Gurudev reminds us that the higher you rise, the deeper you must be rooted. Power without inner stability is anxiety. With daily Sudarshan Kriya, Mary could have shed stress and ego. Shakti Kriya would have given her the boldness of action balanced with the inner silence. The crown may be heavy, but the breath makes one light. Kings and queens in Vedic India perform Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2. Tapas, and Agnikaram to purify their karmas and stay aligned with cosmic order. The throne is a responsibility, not an entitlement. Trikala Sandhya gives perspective across time, past, present, and future. Mary, through these Vedic lenses, would see beyond fear and operate from dharma, not insecurity. The characters conceal truths, but secrets always erupt. How do spiritual tools promote integrity? A restless mind hides, deceives, and manipulates. A still mind is transparent, and courageous practices like Sahat Samadhi meditation bring into alignment with truth. Gurudev says you can't hide energy. Mary's secrecy could have been tempered with a deep meditative insight. When your inner self is clear, honesty becomes effortless and healing too. The Vedas emphasize Satya or truth as a pillar of Dharma. Gayatri Mantra recitation strengthens the inner conscience. Sandhya Vandanam is a daily act of self-review and renewal, making one accountable to divine laws. Agni Karam burns duplicity. If Mary and others practice these secrets, would have no control. They would choose clarity over concealment. Mary must choose between personal desires and royal obligations. How can one resolve such dilemmas? Gurudev explains duty performed without love is burdensome. Love without wisdom leads to chaos. With Padma Sadhana, one gains clarity of purpose. Sudarshan Kriya settles emotional turbulence. And Mary's dilemma between heart and crown could be resolved through silence and reflection. When mind and breath are aligned, the right choice becomes obvious, not easy, but obvious. Vedic life teaches karma yoga, action without attachment. Upanayana initiates one into such a vision. Trikalsanda allows reflection beyond impulse, and Gayatri Japa offers inner guidance. Mary's situation was archetypical between Arjuna's battlefield and Krishna's wisdom. Vedic tools turn these crossroads into evolution, not confusion. Betrayal is common in Mary's code. How can one cultivate trust and discern wisely? Gurudev emphasizes viveka or discernment and shraddha or trust in the divine. Sahat Samadhi meditation enhances intuitive clarity. Shakti Kriya increases energetic perception. You begin to feel truth, not just reason it. Mary's frequent misjudgments could have been prevented with such inner awareness. A sharp intellect grounded in a quiet mind never gets fooled or for long. Gayatri Mantra is invoked to illuminate the intellect. Sandhya Vandanam and Agni Karam purify subtle impressions that cloud judgment. In ancient courts, kings were advised by sages, not just ministers, because wisdom sees what logic misses. Mary, had she aligned with divine routines, would develop pragya, a higher intelligence that senses a betrayal before it strikes in Jagradev.